Hi, I'm Stephanie,
Hi, I'm Sarah.
and this is
Steph and Sarah Unfiltered. Hey, thank you for joining us on our second episode.
If you haven't seen our first episode, please check out the link in the description below and follow us on our social media platforms. We are on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about childhood affirmations today and kind of compare like how we grew up to versus now, like what we're doing and like what we see now as our goals to be.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely very different, I feel. I mean, for me, it's...
So, tell us a little about your background and where you grew up and stuff like that.
Yes. So, I'm from Queens, born and raised. And my family is from Colombia. Both parents, born and raised there, came here, had me. And they never really had, like, an education back there, really. They came here pretty young. And... so I'm like the first generation, right, American, and like I feel like the old Hispanic mentality, they want you to be really successful, like you need to be like a doctor, a lawyer, be real good, something like high end or whatever. I don't like that.
And you're an only child.
Only
yes.
child, yeah. That's also important.
Yeah.
That also has to
because I think it's different how. Like being an only child and then or being like raised with siblings could be completely different.
For sure different. And even though I don't have siblings, I could feel like I can enjoy the sibling jokes and stuff. Because I am an only child, but I did grow up with like two of my cousins. Like we were very close in age and we were always together, always hanging out. So like I feel like they were like my brothers technically. And we would fight a lot. Yeah.
I can't
like a
say
that. Normal sibling situation.
I mean, yeah, me and my sister are 8 years apart, but we definitely still fought a bunch of times. Yeah. And I think it's just because I was older and she wanted to be like involved. She wanted to be like, she was like following me everywhere. Yeah,
she's
like let me be cool. Yeah.
so smart for her age.
She was, yeah.
I feel like the next generation period, like the kids are way smarter than like I feel like I was.
I feel like they're doing a lot more things now.
Yeah.
More like proactive things.
Yeah.
For like everything. For people and like
they had the technology for it.
That too, yeah.
My first phone was a Razr, hot pink Razr. But now kids have like their first phones are like iPhones. Straight up Galaxy.
The minute they come out the womb.
Yes, like
tablet. Tablet to iPhone.
Yeah, literally. So many people use technology now. But yeah, when I was a kid, I mean, I always loved animals, period. Like, that was always my thing. My mom told me I would always, like, go to Colombia, which I visited a lot. And we had farms there, and there'd be chickens, and I'd be running after them. Never caught one, because they're faster. And I was too little, so I was just always an animal lover. So I feel like when I was younger, my goal was always to be a vet. Like, always wanted to do that. But as I got older, I was not emotionally or mentally prepared
to do that.
like for me as a kid, I was always thinking, oh, I'm gonna be saving animals, like it's gonna be rainbows and unicorns, happy days only. Yeah. And then I realized sometimes you gotta go through some hard things and see some hard things, and I was not mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
So I went to vet tech school like for about a year. And then again, I wasn't mentally prepared or emotionally, so I stopped.
She was like, I'm not ready.
Yeah, I was not ready. Not ready. Still love animals, still want to pursue that. And technically still I am like in that route because now I'm a vet assistant and I've learned a lot being in the field with the vet stuff.
Yeah.
But tell me about your childhood.
My childhood. Well, I also was born and raised in Queens.
New York.
Yeah. And my mom's Puerto Rican and Ecuadorian, and my dad's Puerto Rican, like full Puerto Rican. So like, I kind of have like 25% Ecuadorian, 75% Puerto Rican. So.
This is always fun. I'm just straight Colombian.
Yeah. I usually just tell people though that I'm Puerto Rican because I feel like I don't know, it's too much to explain. how I'm Ecuadorian. Because then they're like
75% Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
25.
because that's how I did the math.
Yeah.
Because my mom's 50-50, but then my dad's 100, so I kind of like canceled it all out.
Yeah.
So that's how I figured it out. And my mom was a single mom, so it was just me, my mom, and my sister. Well, she eventually had my sister later on. So me and my sister are 8 years apart, and yeah, we're just completely different. And even growing up, we're completely different. Like the way she's growing up now versus how I grew up, totally unfair. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's definitely different. I feel like you said, the whole thing about trying to like they want better for us. Yeah. So they want us to like go to school and become like a doctor or like a lawyer or whatever the case is. So puts a lot of pressure on, especially when you're a kid, you put that so much pressure on a person. And I understand, because my mom was young, and you know, she had me when she was 17, and it was like she was a baby having a baby. So I get that for so long she always pushed the narrative of like, I don't want you to do what I did. And I totally got that. I was like, yeah, no, I understand. And like she really like drilled it in my head, like, you know, don't do this, don't do that, like just wait, or just do this. And I get that. Like I definitely do get that she didn't want me to go down that same road, but at the same time, like I was like, at a certain point you gotta stop pushing, because I feel like at a certain point in life, like I'm not a child anymore, or I'm not like a teenager who makes like all these bad decisions anymore. Not that I ever really did. So it's like when you get older, it's like, okay, they're older, they're out of my like, you know, they're old enough to like, okay, let her make her own decisions. But I think, again, I think the whole like thing about her trying to like wanted better for me was really like, it just lasted as long as I was in school. So even throughout college, it was like slightly annoying.
It's funny with you, like I am the only child and you're like the firstborn child, so she definitely put a lot of pressure on you and like was pushing on you for sure. I see that.
Yeah, and I think
when we were younger,
I think all like older siblings or anybody who's the firstborn can relate to that, because it's like you basically have to model for all your younger siblings, and I have 4, so so that's like it's
the others from your father's side, right?
So it's like, you know, and it's, if you you feel like you don't want to disappoint anybody, you don't want to disappoint the parent who raised you that way, and you don't want to disappoint your younger siblings, because you want them to see that like you did it, and like you can keep doing it, and they can do it too. And you just want like everybody to be proud of you, which again is like a lot of pressure. So yeah, I definitely like that was pretty much the center of my childhood, was just trying to do good in school, not get into trouble, and just, you know, keep continuing my education until I got something that was good for me to like be comfortable with, stable with, and like, you know, live.
I was really good at school up until high school. High school, I just went downhill, like towards the end. But yeah, like I was saying, like with you being like the firstborn child too, like her putting so much pressure on you, and me just being the only child, I felt like my mom was strict with me, but not strict enough that I was very rebellious as a kid. Like I really like didn't listen too much. I'm much better now. I'm very responsible. I take care of myself, so I'm okay. I get worked out at the end.
That's good.
But yeah, like goal wise, like back then and now, like for you, like how has it changed?
Totally different. I'm like an animal lover too. I don't think as much as you were when we were kids, but I definitely still was. Obsessed. And I thought about like being a vet, and then eventually I like was like, like I'll do something else. And then when I was in junior high school, middle school, I used to take like pictures, so that was like my thing. I started getting into that. And then in high school, I was still doing it like in an art class and stuff like that, and I had a teacher who helped me out a lot with that. And I would enter in like other schools competitions and stuff like that, and like win these little awards. So it was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. And then I even got to do an internship in high school when I was a junior.
I remember you doing that.
Yeah. So I had my work up in a museum in Harlem, so that was like great experience. Like I just loved like the group of people I was with. That whole experience was like an 8-month thing, and it was great. But then I got to like I kept doing that, and I entered a bunch of like things, and then when I got to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was undecided. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take the basic classes and like all the classes that you're required to take when you go to, college. So that's what I did. And then I also took like these extra, kind of like, what is it? The elective classes? Yeah. So I did that. I did photography because I was like, that's what I like. So let me just do that. So I did basic photography my first semester as a freshman, and that was cool because it was like doing like the old style of photography, like in the red room, and like printing the
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like the stuff that you see on TV, that's what I was doing. It was
wow,
like,
I can't believe people still doing that though.
Yeah, it was
I thought that was just like an old fashioned thing.
No, it's so cool, and I honestly feel like the pictures are so much better that way. But I enjoyed that, and then my second semester I did digital photography, which is just the normal camera use photography, like just on the computer. And that was more like, you got to edit the pictures and all that. And even then, I had a teacher my teacher for that class, she like loved my photos also, and she said how like talented and stuff I was, and that's not to brag, but yeah, that's what she said. And then she wanted me to enter in like national competitions and like state competitions for like photography, and I did. I mean, nothing ever like I never moved forward, but after that I kind of like called up my mom because she was my mom, and I felt like I had to ask her, because I asked her for like pretty much everything, and I was like, like what should I do? Like I don't know what to do. And for the longest, she always had this thing about, like photography is not really going to get you anywhere. Like it's more like a hobby thing. It's harder to do that. Which is like
an old-fashioned mentality.
Right. I mean, and not just to say that she alone thought that way, because any adult I spoke to at that time was saying the same thing. Like, oh, you can always do it on the side with whatever job you get. Or you can always, like, like that could just be something that you do later on.
Part-time, like a hobby.
Right.
Kind of thing.
And it was discouraging for sure, like, because that was something that I loved, and I was like, okay, I guess I can do that. And but again, I asked, I was like, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, well, I think you'd be really good in like nursing. And I was like, okay, I'll try that out. So that's what I did.
That, like, such
a popular
I don't know, career, I guess, for like females specifically, I would say.
I guess because females have the whole, we're supposed to be the caring, motherly, like maternal characteristics of like, we got to take care of you, whatever. So I think, but I actually see a lot more male nurses like going into the field, at least now, versus then. But I think she really thought that would be something good for me. Like she was like, I could definitely see you doing that, and I was like, okay. So that's what I did. I gave it a try, and I did the prereqs, and I got into the nursing program. And then even with the orientation for nursing program, they were like, they sat us in this auditorium, and we sat there, and they were like, yeah, it's going to be really hard. So like, they basically said, if you want to leave now. And I was like, what? Okay, so that scared me, because I was like, oh.
Which doesn't help anybody.
Yeah,
like,
I was just
already
like
stressed out.
I was like,
being in school, period, for them
yeah.
to be like, you gotta be the best. If you're not coming in. Like,
they were like, you're just not gonna make it if you don't try it. And it's like, okay. So I was like, whatever.
I got a lot of problems with colleges too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just that I failed school and that I didn't do good and that I just didn't want to continue. There's a lot of reasons for that too. Because things like that, like, there's just not much, like, there's not much encouraging, like, programs and stuff for students.
They just tell you, like, it's hard.
Yeah, like, it's hard, like, good luck.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
So that's,
and then make you pay like $1 million.
Yeah.
For student loans and stuff, which I'm still paying off.
Oh, and that was another thing. So I actually started working for the financial aid office when I was in school. So I mean, that benefited me.
So you don't have that many loans.
Right, because I had my boss, she was like one of the top people at that financial aid office, so she was able to help me, and I was like, okay. So that was a good thing because I was able to get like money and stuff and at least cover some stuff. So that was a plus. But nursing school was hard. Yeah. And I failed so many times that I wanted to like change my whole career. And I could have. Honestly, I could have. But at the same time, I was like, I really don't want to sit in school for another 4 years trying to change my major. Yeah. But I thought from things to like a social worker, I was like, let me try social work or something. I just thought about a bunch of different things. And by the time I was like towards the end of it or like mid of it, I was like, I pretty much stopped doing photography, and I was like, it's just not something that I felt like I wasn't good at anymore because I had stopped doing it for so long. So whenever I did pick up a camera, I was like, I don't really remember. Like, I don't remember how to like do the exposure and all aperture, all that. Yeah. So it was like, it was frustrating because I was like, I really love that. And for me to just forget it in a few years because I put it down was so annoying. So that's pretty much what happened. I did nursing. I became a nurse. And I just stopped doing photography. Yeah. And I still love... Definitely continue. I still love art. I still appreciate art. I love all of it. I love photography. I love like seeing it. I love other people's work. But me, personally, I don't feel like I can do it anymore. And I mean, for years, everybody was like, no, you can do it. Like, you can continue it. As you should. Yeah, and I was just like, yeah. And I actually met photographers when I was in school, too. Like, and one of them is actually from New York, and her work is good. I have her on Instagram, and she does, like, great work, too. But I just, like, sometimes I find myself, like, envying the life like I could have had if I did photography. And I like sometimes I think I know I won't have that like comfortable life of like making money and being comfortable, but at least like I'd be doing something that I love, that you care about. Not to say that,
which is something that everybody should do, honestly.
When definitely
you follow a passion, you're gonna end up being like one of the best.
Really definitely like follow your passion for sure. Even if it's not something that's making you money at the moment, just keep doing it. That's what I think. But not to say that I didn't like nursing. I just didn't like the school work. But whenever we did go into like clinicals and stuff, it was like cool experiences to experience it. And then eventually down the line I started thinking, well, if I become a nurse, like I can help older people, or I can help, like my grandparents or like my grandma, and those are people that I care about so much. So I was like, I could do that because I'll be qualified to do that. But
which is pretty cool,
like it's cool to be thinking like you can save someone's life, but at the same time I do have still moments where I'm like, I can also kill someone, not entirely on purpose. That might come in handy one day. Yeah. Never mind. I'm kidding. I can accidentally do that. Like nurses go to jail for like the smallest things all the time. So it's really scary at the same time. So luckily, since I've been a nurse, I haven't done anything major. Like I'm not a bedside nurse. So I don't work specifically like with very sick patients. So I'm glad in that aspect right now. Like I'm comfortable where I'm at right now, so it's good. But I do still want to learn like cool things. Like if I get to work in the ER, I think that'd be cool. And all that. It's
gonna be exhausting too, though. The ER situation.
But I think like, because I remember clinicals where we basically did the same shifts a nurse would do. It was once a week, but it was still the same hours. So we would go from like 7 to 7 or like 6 to 6. So we still have to get up early and like be there on time and basically do the work nurses did. Just not all of it, but we kind of like shadowed a nurse in a way, so we were learning a lot of stuff. But even with those, I was tired. I didn't do all the work. I can totally but I was like, after the day was done, I was tired.
I could totally get that too. Like me just starting with a vet assistant job right now. I feel like I do a little more than just an assistant would naturally. Like where I work, we just do a lot. And we've had those moments where we get emergencies and like we're just there for like hours and hours. And like it gives me kind of a sense of what like a nurse would be like. Obviously completely different patients.
Yeah.
And it's a little harder just because I can't be like, hey, what hurts you?
Yeah.
Like the dog or the cat is gonna be like, get off of me and bark at me or bite me. Cats scratch.
But I think in that way it's a little harder because they can't talk.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you can't understand how they're feeling. So you have to try with your best judgment. Like, okay, I'm gonna do what I think is gonna be best for you, even though you can't talk.
Yeah, we had to run a lot of testing too. Like a lot more testing, I feel like, than a nurse would, just because again the person would be like, hey, my leg is hurting, focus on my leg. Right. For animals it's like
you don't know where it's coming from.
No, it could be vomit, diarrhea, same thing. It's like they ate something they shouldn't have eaten, like string or something. Like I have a few cases where it's like there's someone who came recently actually, and their dog ate like a whole like corn on the cob, like the corn and then the cob. And we're just like, holy shit, like, wow. God. Like, that's so dangerous. But, like, hopefully, you know, everything works out. Like, we don't actually know what happened yet. Because it was just, like, yesterday. It was crazy. But, yeah, the nursing field definitely is strict. I have another friend who's in nursing. And I remember, like, everything she had to go through. And, like, she actually did start working strictly, like, in a hospital after college. And she's... you know, it's always busy for her. Like, I don't get to see her much because of her schedule. Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
I know, I mean, a lot of nurses are, like, struggling right now because they're getting, like, less pay and more work. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, I can imagine it's stressful. That's why I said I'm glad I'm not in the bedside right now. Yeah. I'm glad I'm doing something, like, simple. Yep. And, you know, something that, I mean, it's still beneficial. Like, I'm still helping people, but... you know, it's not like the nitty and gritty of like whatever like a nurse really does. Yeah. So,
exactly.
So what do I do?
So what do you do?
I am a COVID vaccine nurse. So
saving people's lives.
Yes. Vaccine. From COVID.
Everybody get vaccines out there.
Which is like still such a big thing. It was a big thing. You know, 3 years ago has it been? 2. Yeah. So it
2020. We're in 2022.
Yeah. So it's still big. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I give shots to adults and kids. So that's interesting.
That's always interesting. Yeah. I bet the kids are hard to handle.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I can't. I'm glad I don't work with the kids, honestly. I don't know how to explain to a kid, like, hey, your dog's not doing well. If they grew up with a dog, like, that's just hard. Yeah. Hard to deal with. So that's not...
The worst thing is when I get, like, kid patients, I mean, who are old enough, they're probably, like, 7 or 8, or, like, maybe even 9, and they're like, oh, I don't want it. Like, I don't want the vaccine. But it's like their parents are forcing them. So it's, I don't know. It's never a good feeling because it feels like you're forcing them to get something they don't want when they're clearly verbalizing why they don't want it. Yeah. But, I feel like that's just hard because, you know, you can't, like, I mean, they can't say no. They got to listen to their parent. Yeah. Just stop listening to your parents.
Basically, moral of the story, don't listen
moral
to your
of the story,
parents.
Don't listen to your parents.
Do what you want, follow your passion. Exactly. If you don't want no vaccine, don't get it.
You don't want a vaccine, don't get it. You don't want to do nursing, don't do it.
Yeah. Because nursing is cool, though.
It's still good. If you do want to do nursing, do nursing. Because
I'm definitely come to you with mad questions when I'm feeling not well.
That's another thing, like, that it's so funny because people will be like, oh, she's a nurse, like, she'll know. And it's like, no, man, I don't know.
Yeah, you still gotta
I'll just ask you, like, the same questions, like, a parent would ask their child. Like, you know, did you sleep? Yeah. Like, did you drink some water?
Basic questions. Yeah. The routine questions.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
I feel, too. Like, some people come to me and, like, now that I'm working, right, with the animals, they come to me like, oh, my dog's like this and this and that. And I was like, okay, you should see the vet about that. Yeah. I can't really answer that. I mean, for the most part, I could answer some things, but it's like I'm still learning myself. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to give, like, full advice. if it's something serious.
Yeah.
My thing is just go to the vet.
Yeah.
Go to the vet.
That's the solution.
That's it. That's what it is. Yeah. And I work with some good vets, so like I learn a lot from them too. Like they're pretty good at like teaching certain times. Obviously, it's like they're not teachers, they're not there to teach, so they're busy working. But like they're still willing to show me, you know, the ways. Like I'm just a vet assistant, but I do tech work sometimes too. Yeah. Especially if like we're shorthanded and stuff. So I learn a lot.
Yeah, I think that's good because you're learning something like out of your like scope of practice in a way.
And I'm definitely out of my comfort zone sometimes too.
Yeah, that too. So that's good.
It's crazy. The things I see is just insane. And going back to loving animals so much, I see a lot of like humans doing abusive things to their animals, and I just like get so mad.
Yeah.
So angry. And it's like, and this is just a general thing that humans do to animals, like not just cats and dogs. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like they actually have the better life out of all the animals, cats and dogs.
Pretty much, yeah. Mostly because they're the house pets, the house animals, like the ones that get to live inside.
Yeah. Which sucks because all animals should have the same rights and equality and everything. Yep. Big animal fans over here.
Oh yeah.
Something we have a lot to talk about there. But yeah, our childhoods and now is definitely really different too.
Different, yeah. And how would you like say like, well, is there something you would change, like let's say like how you were raised versus how you're gonna raise like your kids? Like what would you change or how would you do it?
That's a good question. I feel like I want to be strict with my kids, like really strict, but then I also do want them to have freedom. I just, something that I didn't have, I don't feel like with my parents growing up is like me being able to go to them about anything. Like I feel like if I went to them about a little problem at school or whatever, like I don't know, I'd be kind of judged or like I don't know, I just didn't feel open enough with them to talk about problems that I had in school and stuff. So I want to have that relationship with my kids, like whenever I have kids.
Yeah, I think that's good to have.
I want them to be comfortable enough to come to me and like do everything. Like I want to give them their first drink too.
I think my mom wasn't in that department. Like she was definitely the person who was like, you know, tell me or like come to me if you have a question.
Yeah.
I think it was like 50-50. Like sometimes I would go depending on what it was. Yeah. But then other times I'd still be kind of scared to like go and say something. So I can agree with that. I feel like when I have my own kids, like I definitely want them to feel like it's okay for them to talk to me and even be honest with them and say, hey, like even if it's this, I might get angry at first, but I still want you to talk to me and I still want you to tell me because, you know, we're going to work it out or some way.
Yeah. I also wouldn't push school so much.
Yeah,
like,
definitely
because obviously in these times now, people, like, school is great and all, and I do encourage people to go, but if they really want to. And if they really feel like...
And by school, you mean, like, college?
Like college.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. Go to middle school, go to high school. At least that.
Get the basics.
Do that. College, it's really up to you at the end of the day, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who are really successful and they didn't go to college.
Yeah.
And again, it's based on the career. Like, yeah, there's certain careers you do need a degree for it. Like, yeah, you're gonna be a doctor. Please go to school. Yeah. Please go to college.
You need the like thing that says you're a doctor.
Yeah. Definitely, because I ain't going to no doctor who didn't go to college.
No, yeah, I just, like, got my lessons on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what's going to be the way now on YouTube. Yeah. On YouTube, I learned a lot, though. That's
true, yeah.
That's what I love about YouTube.
You can kind of, like, YouTube anything.
You really could, and I love it. But, yeah, with things like doctors and lawyers and all that stuff, like, they should go to college. But then there's other jobs where it's not necessary, or like I feel like something that's really important is more experience than actually going to school, because I've met certain people who have the degree who have no experience on the field, and I'm the one teaching them stuff.
Yeah.
And I have no college degree. So that's like, it just really depends.
I feel like it's just having, like you said, like having an experience and having the whole like basically like social networking, like just knowing,
Yeah.
like just having a bunch of connections to like, I feel like it leads from like thing to thing to thing. Like that's how you get your experiences.
Yeah.
Which is kind of annoying because it's like when I was applying for jobs, it literally took me 4 months to find. Like I was
just crazy.
Unemployed for 4 months because every job was like, you need experience.
Exactly.
And I was like, how am I supposed to get experience if you're not letting me
get the
experience?
That's something I don't understand either. And it's crazy because, like, I actually I had a lot of different jobs. So after college, right, I left and I started doing any job, honestly, that I could get. Like, I was just doing anything. And I don't feel like it was hard for me to get a job, truthfully. And I don't have the degree like you do, so it doesn't make sense to me that, like, I mean, I feel like experience is totally important for sure. It's just like it shouldn't be hard if you have a degree to get the job too. Like, I don't know, that's something that's, I don't know,
that's what I'm saying. I feel like it was annoying. So I was like, I went to school, I did the exam to get my license, and here I am still struggling to get a job.
Exactly.
Like,
which
4 months into it.
To me.
Yeah.
But yeah, following back to like the childhood goals and stuff, I still always wanted to be a vet. I took a break on that, and now I'm back to where I wanted to be. I don't know if I want to be a vet yet. I'm still kind of like debating on that.
Yeah.
Like, I respect vets. I think they're awesome. And it's just a lot of work to get to that point. Especially because I feel like vets are not valued as much as, like, a regular doctor. Like, in this world, period, like, humans are more valuable than animals. Right, in this world. So you have, like, a human doctor, you know, saving the peoples and everything, but then you got a vet saving the animals, but nobody really cares.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
as not like as much.
Yeah, and they don't get paid nearly as much either. So yeah, that's like another situation. But yeah, and I'm not good at school, so that's like another reason I don't know about being a vet. The vet tech, I know, like, I only need like really 2 years, and I could do online classes, so maybe do that to get my license on it. So that's probably my next move, is doing that.
Yeah.
But I like that I'm working in the field now, so school might be a little easier for me. Just a little bit. Yeah, because
then you kind of have like a little taste of like what to expect in a way. So you'll be able to you're familiar with it, so it's like, okay, it won't be as bad as just starting brand new. So that's good.
And then hopefully after I do get my license, I still have this job, so I'm set.
Yeah.
Like, maybe even get my raise. Now I'm licensed.
You're like, I have a license now, so, you know, up my pay.
Yeah.
So I'm basically just using nursing as a stepping stone to make money. So because like my future goal, and by future I mean hopefully like within the next 5 years, I want to like own land and then have a farm and like have farm animals. And just because like I don't know, like I can see myself doing that. Like you know, just like you, I love animals and I want to be with animals, and especially farm animals.
We could totally have like an animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
Like run a little thing together where we just save animals.
Yeah, and I think it's also ideal for like raising children too, because then you get to raise your kids like on a farm and in open land versus like a more like a city life. Not that being raised in a city life is like bad, but I feel like I want like my kids to connect with like nature and the earth and like animals. Same. And like I just want them to like experience those things from young and not come out like, not like how kids are basically nowadays, like, you know, on the tablet, on the phones, and all the social media and all that. I want them to like wake up and like have breakfast and go outside and
have some deer outside the window.
Yeah, like,
that'd be friggin' awesome. I would love
like, that. I just want them to get dirty and like have these little experiences.
Yeah.
So they can grow up and like have an appreciation for the environment and just life in general and for animals and everything. Yeah. So I think that's what I want to do. I definitely want to important.
I feel like even though we were city kids, like grew up here in the city, we were still able to kind of like go out to the park by our house, which is a big park, so it was good for us kind of go on adventures. And
yeah,
like,
we had our like little
wilderness experience or whatever. And like, I feel like it's so important for everybody to be out of their house, away from technology sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like, we love YouTube, you know? Like, we're on YouTube, so we want to continue with that. But also give yourself a break to be away from the TVs, the phones, and everything. Like, it's so important. I had an experience when I was in high school where I had an internship, which was in Florida, and it was for a month. And we had no technology. We were not allowed phones. We were not allowed TV. I don't even think we had a radio, really. Like, it was just, and it was like in the Disney Wilderness Preserve.
Oh, okay.
So it was like really like in the middle of like kind of nowhere a little bit. But because it's like a secluded area, it's not that bad. But still, we were like away from technology, and I loved it. Like, I was with a bunch of girls. Like, I'd never met them. I had 2 mentors that were with us. I didn't know them either, but we got to bond and know each other within that month, and it was just a great experience. Like, I loved it. And we woke up to animals outside our door, like outside where we were staying. Cool. And that's like amazing for me. Yeah. And again, as a city kid, you don't see that. You wake up and you see like a freaking hobo on the street. Oh, pigeon. I love pigeons though. Yeah, some rats and pigeons. I still love them. I don't care. People don't like them, but I still value them too. I think they're so funny. I saved the pigeon once from getting killed by a cat. That was like traumatizing for me. But like I was like really happy I saved the pigeon. Because like I was like, oh my god, this cat was really trying to kill it. And I kept it in my house for like a couple of days until it got better, and then I put it in the park.
That's so cute.
I hope it's okay. I don't know. But I hope so.
It went to live a long, healthy life.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope so. Like, the childhood me thinks the best. Like, oh, I saved it. It's good. It's living forever. But now, me being 24, I'm like, it had a bad wing. It probably couldn't fly.
Yeah, you know a lot more now.
Yeah,
so you're like,
but I still have to think positive. He's fine. He has little babies now. I don't know.
He has a whole family now. He's thriving out there.
That's so important. I like, similar to your goal with having like the farm or whatever. Like, I really want to have like an animal sanctuary. Like, help all the animals that we could. And I don't want to use them to like profit off of them in any way. It's more like I really just want to help them, save them as much as I could.
For sure.
Like a small organization that we can have or something. Get donations.
I think because I know like I won't be doing nursing. If I do that, basically I'll become like a farmer. I think the only thing I would sell is like probably my harvest. So like, like whatever I grow, or like, you know, things that are used, that people can just like, you know, like kind of do like a little market thing. Yeah. Or even like I've talked about like opening little businesses, like a bakery or something, mostly because I like to bake. But yeah, like even having that little piece to the side, like it's not like something like crazy, but it's just a little thing. And so that's where I see like that's where I want to go. I want to have that for my future. Like, I want to just wake up and see the sun rising and like all this green open land. Like, I don't want any neighbors. Like, I don't want anyone to see me. Like, I just want that.
Me neither. Like, that's definitely a goal. Is also like, I want open land, lots of land, and I don't really care about how big the house is. Like, I've never wanted a mansion. I've never wanted one. I feel like, cleaning. First of all, I watch way too many scary movies, and if there's ghosts in the house or demons, like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with the small little house, like 1 floor. I'm good. Yeah. I just want the land, like, straight up, just mad places to go, like farm and stuff.
I feel like it's a lot easier if you like, you kind of like make it yourself, like kind of like build it from scratch. Like, you tell them like what you want. Yeah. So then you know, like, it's not
make it fit you.
Right. So it's not like this huge house that you just had to buy. You made it yourself, type of thing.
Exactly. That's something that I feel like would be really like impressive. I've also always wanted to live in a van or have like a tiny house for a while. Like, I want to do that. That's something that I just think I would still get a van. Yeah.
I think I just want a van.
I totally want one. Like, for traveling purposes, like, and we love to travel and stuff, like, a van just makes life like financially easier too.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so cool. Like I follow a lot of YouTubers who live in vans, and I really respect them.
And all they do is travel.
And all they do is travel.
Yeah, that's another like goal that I want to do. Obviously, before like I have a family and stuff, like I definitely want to be able to travel to different places or places that I haven't been before. Even if it's not a lot, I still want to be able to say like, okay, I did that.
Exactly.
At this age, so. Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, once we get older and, like, my knees are already hurting. So when I'm older and way older, I'm not going to do much activity. So all I'm going to have is my stories to tell.
Yeah, stories.
And I want to have really interesting stories. And, like, right now I have some stories, but, like, I'm mostly drunk in most of them. So I really want to have, like, fun, interesting things, like, that I did in my life. So being in a van is like one of them. And I'm not saying like to live in a van forever, like years or something, but like at least a year or two. Like I feel like I just want the experience. And doing like
the whole cross country thing. Yeah. Just that alone be like,
there's people
cool.
who like go from literally like Argentina to like Europe with their van. I guess you could ship it.
Or, yeah.
I know there's a couple who lives in a van and they ship their van from Europe to like Morocco. Wow. And it's like, yeah, it's usually just traveling with your home. And it's
pretty much, yeah.
I understand people are like, oh, like hygiene-wise, some of them don't have showers and stuff. And I know I'm going to need a shower for sure. And like the composting toilet type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be the
but
most,
it's like those are the, like,
annoying
the
part
things,
of it. But
yeah. You have to like stop in like those like campsites or like, you know, places for you to like.
And refill water and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the hard part of it, but I feel like it's going to be worth it at the end of the day. People
Definitely.
wake up with their van doors open and right by the beach.
I have like a mountain view or something.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
crazy.
so cool. So I want to do that. That's a goal. I never had that as a kid. I would never imagine myself having that. But as I got older, I was like,
yeah,
there's much to it. Like much more to it in life.
I feel like a lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's so cool.
Traveling now and like doing a lot of things now versus and then having like kids later. Yeah. Like having family or settling down like later in life.
Yeah.
Because
that's one of my biggest fears actually is having a kid who's scared of animals. Or allergic.
Oh no.
Oh, that's gonna put me in a really hard place.
I didn't even think of that.
I've thought about that so much because it's like
gosh.
I know I'm gonna like have mad animals around me, like whatever it is, there's gonna be animals around me regardless. And if they're like allergic or like they're scared,
here pop some Benadryl.
Like
you're
whatever.
Gonna be around this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get used to it because I mean, if I have to separate them, I will. But that's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah,
because like my passion is literally animals, like my whole life.
Or imagine you have kids who just hate animals.
That's gonna be a big problem. And you know what's interesting? Like and you know how many serial killer documentaries I watch, and the first thing they talk about is like, oh, they killed a cat, they killed a dog, and I'm like, if my child comes to me with a dead animal, that's gonna be an issue. Like
you're gonna be like, yeah, straight to bye,
like therapy,
like go.
You need some serious help. I don't want it. Like it's really a 50-50 with kids. Like if like let's say they do that, God forbid, they go into therapy right away, but it might backfire and they might hate me and then they might kill me later on. Ooh. I don't know. I watch too many movies. That's just my thought process. Like I think way too much about things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely saving animals in the future and as many and all kinds too, not just like regular like farm animals, whatever. I'm down to get a tiger. If somebody comes to me like, hey, this tiger's dying, I want to be able to save it.
Yeah, like
I want to be that person. Another goal is always to like go to those, well actually, you know, zoos are like love-hate relationship. Like there's zoos that capture animals for just money and like breeding and like using them. But then there are other ones that are actual, like saving them and actually taking care of them.
Or like the ones that they help the animals from the wild.
Yeah.
And they have them recover, and then they release them back into the wild.
If they can survive in the wild, because certain ones they just can't.
Yeah.
So then they keep them.
Yeah, but I'm not like a huge fan of zoos. It's like I want to go to zoos because I want to see the animals. Yes. Like I want to appreciate them and be like, oh my god, you're so cute. But then at the same time, I feel so bad for them. Like I feel like I find myself, like if I'm there, I'll find myself talking to them, talking about, yeah, I'm gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And you're like, talk to them. I'm not really gonna get you out of here, but it's nice to dream. Like that's what I want for you.
I've had an internship with the Wildlife Conservancy here in New York, so I had like a summer camp counselor job in the Queens Zoo. And we got to learn about the animals in there and stuff, and I thought it was so cool. Like, and I was like in high school, so I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. I like see the animals. I can work in a zoo, whatever. And although like they would tell me like, yeah, they saved this animal, it couldn't go back to the wild, like this and that, I still know like at the end of the day we're just using them for money. Yeah. And that sucks.
Like it's basically using them for like entertainment, like so people can watch them and stuff. Yeah, I try to be like against like going there. Like when I learned about the whole SeaWorld thing, I definitely went. I've never been there, but when I learned about it like more in depth, I was like, no, I'm never going there now.
I used to go when I was a kid, like younger. Obviously, as a kid, you're not
you don't
told
think about
this
things,
stuff. And like circuses too. Obsessed with the circus.
Yeah,
I remember going elephant. There. And then obviously I got older, I learned everything, and I haven't been back. Never been to a circus like in the last, like, I don't know, I was pretty young actually when I stopped going. Yeah. And SeaWorld too, never would go again.
Yeah, even, but like, it's so funny because even after learning about that, like, it's still like, because, you're in Florida, like, when I was in Florida, that's basically where SeaWorld is. Well, one of them, and my mom was like, oh yeah, well, like, why don't we do that? And I was like, dude, I'm not going. Yeah. Like, you can go, but I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, because you're just putting your money into supporting stuff like that. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, just want to save the animals. That's the goal for me. Like life goal. Life goal.
That's the life goal. Animals. So so regarding like just to like wrap up today, like what would be like your advice to someone, like if they're thinking about doing something right now, or even like if for younger audiences, like if they have like this extravagant, like, I don't know, they want to be an actress or something, like,
go for it. Why not?
That's actually my third job in line.
Follow your passion for sure. Something too that I wish I told myself was like, because again, like I loved animals, wanted to be a vet. I stopped that career, but I'm kind of going back there. It's like, you got to just stay strong. If you really love something, and even though it's hard for you, like maybe mentally, emotionally, just try to toughen out, like try to get through it.
Just basically like get through the hard part.
Yeah, because then at the end, like you still have the good parts too. You can't always think about the hard part, and you have to get through everything. Right. And in life, there's always rough patches, but you get through it.
They say it takes 3 years to be good at something. Good at your passion.
Okay. It takes 3 years to be good at your passion.
Yeah, remember that. That's a quote, apparently.
Quote.
Our cameraman is telling us a quote.
Okay, to fully excel at what you're doing, it takes 3 years. Yes. So give yourself time, basically. Exactly. And like, yeah. So don't give up and just so like easily. Keep going. Yeah. Basically, that's
something I did too a lot. I gave up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like we think, like at this age, we're supposed to have our whole life figured out. Oh, no. But definitely something that I learned was like, yeah, you don't have to have your whole life figured out.
When I was a kid, I 100% thought I had kids. I'm going to have a house.
By like 25.
Age. Yeah. 25, I'm going to have kids, a whole career, a house, cars, which I just got my license recently. So I'm way behind my but you're schedule. Not behind. Yeah, see? I know. There's no actual like timing for anything. Everybody's at their own pace. Like I know people have been successful at like their 70s. Exactly. Like they didn't reach their goals till then, which is cool. But I'm not trying to wait that long either. Yeah. I'm trying to like get to it. But yeah, follow your passion. Give yourself time. Don't give up. Yep. And follow what you want to do. Don't always allow other people to put in their opinions and like follow what they think is right for you. Like you figure it out on your own.
Yeah. Even I mean, I think it's different. Like if they try to give you advice, maybe you can consider it, but definitely like I feel like you can tell like when you have that gut feeling of like this is really what I want to do. Yeah. You'll do it. Like you'll put every effort in to do that because that's what you want to do. Exactly. So you're going to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is the end here.
We're going to wrap it up.
Wrapping it up. We talked about everything we had to say. So please just comment, subscribe, like, follow us again, and
share.
We'll see you on our next video.